Welcome to another episode. We're on Wealth is Gangster. You know what it is. It's Mindset Mondays. Got the homie Van back in the building. What's going on, my G?
What up, y'all? What up, YouTube world, Facebook world, Instagram world? What up, y'all?
Yeah, we all over them, man. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
all over them. Dang. Did I do something wrong? Let me do something. But okay, so overcoming ourselves. Before we matter of fact, what I'm gonna start off with is part of what we're talking about tonight. So, it's been a long week. I always ask you about your past week, how everything been going, this and that. So we want that regular rundown, and we want to talk about overcoming ourselves with what you're going through medically right now too. So let's put it all out there, man. Go ahead and let's kick it off like we normally do. How was your week?
So my week was impactful, very impactful. Not all in a good way, but it got me through. It made me open my eyes more. It brought more awareness to different situations. One of the things I really dealt with this week was medically, having some stomach issues and things. Later on this week, next week, I go get a colonoscopy, and just even thinking about that as a man, growing up and being at that age where, dang, this is real life. And it's like, so let me go back a little bit. A couple weeks ago, I went and got some blood work done. Went to the hospital. Went to my doctor's appointment. Came back with some results, and um, the results sent me in a spiral.
Yeah.
It like a stressful spiral, worrisome spiral, an anxiety spiral,
It's only natural.
and all I could do is cry. I had to spend some time crying, just let it out, because it's like, for me, it was one of them things where I've always considered myself healthy, but it's like, now that I'm here, it's really like, how did I get here? How do I deal with this? Um, where's my ego with this? Is this something like, as lonely as I'm feeling, do I express how lonely I'm feeling? Do I go ask for help? Do I really go try to seek comfort in people where in my regular life I've never got that comfort from them?
Yeah.
So it's just a whole different feeling. Um, with that, I'm gonna kind of lead into how we got to the topic. So, of course, it's spring break. I have both my sons with me. We were at the court. They were balling today. I'm out there watching, being supportive dad, and I'm asking my son. I have a 15-year-old and a son that's gonna be 11 on the first, right?
Yeah.
My son that's 11, I'm really, because I don't get to see him all the time. Um, but I'm really proud of his development. My 15-year-old, I'm proud of his development. I'm seeing his game change in just a week. 2 weeks ago, we went to a trial, and I'm just seeing improvements already. But I'm a big mindset person. So I asked him, who's his favorite player? Said Kobe. Then he said Kyrie. Asked him what they have to overcome. You know, he said themselves. Then asked him who's his favorite artist at the time. He gives me a name, and he says, I asked him what they have to overcome. And the goal is just to try to get him to research and see, like, you're going to have to go through some stuff. You're going to have to challenge and push yourself in a way only you could push yourself.
Yeah.
And as a dad, it's like hard to explain that versus him wanting that, building a hunger so strong. So it got me thinking, we all have to overcome ourselves.
Yeah.
So what does that look like? So for me, I talked a little bit about my medical side, but then even on my entrepreneur journey, how do I get in the way of that? Sometimes it's a lot of uh what they say, if you can't say something nice, then don't say nothing nice at all. So sometimes I can't even talk to myself. I gotta, hey bro, snap out. Think about something else. Like go for a walk or something. So I just want to talk about some of the ways we have to overcome ourselves. And then throughout the conversation, like always, we're going to talk about things we've done to overcome ourselves.
Yeah. Nah, that's deep, man. And it's something I tell people all the time about this thing we're going through called life, man. We have to, I know it sounds cliche about just enjoying it and trying to maximize every day and all that. It's cliche until it ain't cliche. You know what I'm saying? Because we all know, we all hear it, but it's something in us that always think, yeah, but that's not us. That's not gonna happen to us. You know what I'm saying? Like that's naturally what we do. But I have cherished so many moments that I've had with people, and those moments how they've been took like that always makes me every day. I don't never get. It's the same type of thing like when I say about the protests when people they wait till something happens and they get re-mad all over again. Like I don't have to get re-mad all again. I don't have to be taught by life how precious life is. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like we take it's a cliche thing, and then it's a rap. Then everybody like, hold on, that does that really just happening? You know what I'm saying? Like I'm going through that right now with a partner that I'm like, did that really just happen? I'm talking about that we started off when we weren't even supposed to make it to 20 something. You know what I'm saying? So we overcame that. We passed through that. We he did all the in and out the penitentiary and got to a point now where he just kind of just a working dude, laid back, chill, come out here and there. You know what I'm saying? So he had overcame at least that part of life. And then for something to just still take him away at 50 years old is young. You know what I'm saying? That's young. So for me to see, even though we knew, man, we made it through, we still kind of always take it for granted. So I wake up every day and focus on not taking this thing for granted. Like really, like I know sometimes it's hard because you don't want to think about that. You don't want to think about things, but like even with you, every time we talking about we talking about mental grind. We talking about this, the overcoming the business, the ins and the outs and everything. The last thing we ever thinking about is health. We just automatically assume that that's gonna be good so we can complete our mission. That was the first thing when you did break the news to me. The first thing you was talking about was your mission. That's the selflessness in you. That at that type of point in your life, you still worried about. Hold on, I gotta be right for this mission. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Then that was crazy to me because I took that in. I don't think you really caught it, but I caught it. I was like, hold on, man. This dude over here hit me with that type of news, and one of the second things that come out of his mouth is, I gotta be here for my mission to be complete.
Yeah,
that was powerful for me, man.
So, I've probably never shared this publicly with anybody, but when I got back to Killeen, 2009, started really, man, I had a whole bunch of tickets, sent me to jail, couldn't work, couldn't be in that workforce or anything, right? Yeah. So it sat me down because I was in a point where I had to either go straight and clean up all this, or I could just brush it to the side and deal with what's next, right? So one of the things I looked at with my life is I went to college, ran for Nike on the development, did all that stuff. However, I was a shortcutter. I don't want to say a cheater because you think relationships, but I was, wherever there's a shortcut, I was trying to find it. Yeah. And so many times I took these shortcuts and they were anything but short. And a lot of times they cost me physical pain, and a lot of time spent in areas I didn't need to be or be at. So one time I'm sitting in jail and I'm just asking God, like, I need change. Show me how to change. Show me how to change, you know. Then I started getting into alignment, and there's a certain alignment into everything you do. And when you break that alignment, that's when things kind of go astray. So for example, so for example, in college, I was that dude.
Yeah.
I was that dude, especially with the females.
Yeah.
Like we go to University of Alabama, we walk to a track meet. I was one of those dudes, you know. So in the midst of that, hold on one second. Grab your chair, sir. But in the midst of that, I was still shortcutting. I still wasn't giving 100%. When I say shortcutting, like giving 100%. When I say 100%, mentally I'm there, physically I'm there.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I wasn't there mentally, or I wasn't there physically at all. You know, I'm just going through the process. So I made my mind that I'm gonna do everything in alignment. I'm gonna do it right to the best of my abilities. I'm not gonna intentionally take any shortcuts. You know, when they say if you want something that you haven't had before, you have to do something that you haven't done before. So I got into books researching. Okay, if I'm going to pick myself up, I only want to have to pick myself up one time. You know, you only got to get whatever it is you're trying to get. You only have to get it right one time, just one time. But that one time of getting it right is the journey, if that makes sense. So first thing I started was, if you want to hide something from a black person, put it in a book. That's where I personally started. What does that mean? What does that mean? You know, my mom read Daniel Steele, had all kind of Zane books, everything. So I didn't take it as black people didn't read, but I'm jumping a little bit, and hopefully it all tie together.
Yeah.
But when we're talking about we only bring in $1.6 trillion a year, we don't own anything. So
I bet.
After being laid off, after losing jobs too,
Yeah.
how do I get myself in a situation where I don't have to worry about nobody laying me off or firing me? So that's what led me into, well, what are they reading? I started learning about entrepreneurship, reading these different books, boom, boom, boom. So the first part I had to overcome was my learning ability. I went to college on a track scholarship, and some of y'all have caught some of my interviews or on other people's show where I tell you, like, I got to Middle Tennessee, I was fast. I wasn't mentally confident, if that made sense. And not only was I not mentally confident, I'm still like, how did I get here? Like, I'm really on a college campus. What am I doing on a college campus? Like, all I am is fast. So I hid behind my talent. So after that, learning, that was the first way I had to overcome myself. Researching, finding out, okay, there's business. And at the time, I thought I was Diddy. You know, I know business. I'm gonna be a mogul. But then I really started looking and like, what do I know about business except for what I think? and what I've seen. And in my journey, I realized the things I've been taught and a lot of things I've seen is not necessarily true or correct, especially if it came from the schoolhouse. So running this freestyle on business and not getting the results I want. How do I get these results? So that's where I really wanted to focus on doing something right, that once I get it right, I don't have to worry about some of the things I worry about if I get hired per se, So the first thing I wanted to do was do things right and complete them. Complete the chapter.
That's the main thing. Yeah. You got it. And that's something I had to overcome myself with, right? When I first started off, I had all these grand ideas and I'll be starting one and then another one pop up in my head. And I'm like, and it now I got to the point I've been doing it so long, it's easier now, but I get it what they mean in the beginning. Like you have to focus and hone in on one thing and execute it and complete it. Mm-hmm. And that's what I told myself coming into this year. I was going to execute and I was going to stand up to myself that wouldn't let me get over the hump. So, because most of the time it's us that don't get ourselves over the hump. We be thinking like, man, I'm waiting on this big check to get me over the hump. I'm waiting on this happened, that happened, waiting to meet the right person. Sometimes the right person's in the mirror, but are you going to do what it takes to get you over there? So like I just said on other episodes, one of the things I was talking about, I want to execute and complete. Those are my 2 words for this year. Starting, I think, like October or something, I told myself, execute and complete is my 2 words for 2023. That came when I got my book, because I never did the Arthur thing. I've been playing with the book idea. I've been playing with these ideas of dropping it. And I just kept putting it off. You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to complete the book. I wrote a movie. I got that typed up and everything. Now we about to set the date probably next week. I want to complete that. Like all these different things that I would just have sitting in notebooks and stuff. I'm not going to keep moving on with more ideas and just piling it up, and I'm not scratching them off the list. You know what I'm saying? So that was me overcoming myself, because it's great to be ambitious. It's great to be hungry and all that stuff. But don't get so ambitious that every new idea you take off and run with it before you complete the last one. Because I'm not a person that's gonna say stick to one thing and do that. I'm not. That's not my type, my style. I understand that some people need that because a lot of people can't concentrate. It's enough to concentrate on one thing, let alone multiple things. So I get what people mean by they say that. But I've been doing this since I was 17, and I have built up a little comfortability with the way I got it set up. And I always tell people, hey, the way I do it is not the model. I'm the type of entrepreneur that jump out the plane and I put my parachute on as I'm going down. I don't advise that to no one. You know what I'm saying? But that's a comfortability to me. That's something I feel like I work the best in that type of environment. So that's one of the way I was just saying about the way I overcame myself. I had to get people like you to like, okay, if I want to really do this content thing, if I know that I'm not going to be as faithful to it if I just do everything by myself, let me get some partners and let me build some shows with some people where I know I'm going to have that constant show. You know what I'm saying? So that was one, when it comes to content, what I hit you with this idea and what we've been doing ever since. That was me overcoming myself, knowing that if I didn't do this with you, I wouldn't have as many shows as we'd had this year so far. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, stuff like that, man. But I love that concept. When you text me about it, I thought about it and I'm like, man, I'm steady. I'm in a constant battle with trying to overcome myself every day. It's still an ongoing thing. It's still a mental fight, a psychology test, because your brain goes through that test.
Yeah, like, bruh, literally, I've tried to quit so many times.
Yeah.
And my mind won't just, I'm done with it. Like, man, it's too stressful. I could be spending time with my kids or whatever, Then you get there and you get to sit down. It's like, okay, for example, today I'm on my phone and I have a Twitter, but I don't really be on Twitter. I get a notification from Twitter about a Killeen kid a clean teenager involved in a capital murder or something in Austin. And I have my kids in the back seat. And I'm just thankful that we're on our way to the park to go hoop. So I'm really thankful that I'm there as a father. And it's a lot more I want to do as a father that I'm trying to figure out. However, I consider myself a great man. The simplest way for me to tell the difference between a good man and a great man is, what up, Mike? A great man thinks about more than just him. It's the world in his circle, his community in his circle, his family in his circle, how he treats other people in his circle. You know, by default, we're all good people. And a good man, he's gonna worry about his house or him. He ain't worried about the neighbor or anything like that. So, as a self-proclaimed great man, I'm thinking about others. And when I read this headline, as grateful as I am with my kids, I'm like, man, if I don't build this or complete this mission, how many more of these stories are going to come out? You know, versus I'm ready for them stories to be, hey, this teen prodigy from Killeen, Texas, got his master's degree at 19. Then when you interview him, oh yeah, I just want to thank the CEO Academy, Impossible, for giving me a chance, giving me opportunity, opening up my mind to something new versus the headlines I'm continuously reading. And I feel like I'm only reading them because it's my job to do something about.
Yeah.
I think I brought this up to you before. I just put it on video, send it to my social media manager. So I hope it come out right. So Tupac, bro. Mm-hmm. Tupac was a huge inspiration for me. Especially when he said that line about, I might not change the world, but I'm going to spark the mind that does.
Yeah.
I'm that spark. But Tupac also failed me. You know, he had me thinking I wasn't going to live past 25. You know, at one point I was a rider for Tupac, then I started yelling Thug Life. You know?
Hey, I was on that train too.
So I came up with the analogy, Tupac failed us. And the reason why I say that, and it hurts my heart to say that, but it's real, and I think it's something that needs to be out more. Tupac had so much influence that we didn't even plan our lives past 25. Just off this man's influence. Now, he was sitting here, he started walking down that path, but when he got distracted and started doing the gang stuff, now he put himself in a situation to be taken out through free will. We all make decisions, so he made that decision. But as he still has that good heart, that gang culture kind of infected the mission. It infected the mission. So now we yelling Thug Life versus the consciousness he was waking us up to. He dies. So now we're stuck like, I'm 26. I'm 27. I didn't have no plan for this.
Yeah.
But if Tupac would have still been alive, walked down that right path, what could have happened? Could he been a politician now? What if he would have became a politician? How many of us would have been like trying to be politicians?
And I think, and I know exactly what you're talking about. And he was like most of it, and that's why I try to fight for these youngsters, because I know where I was at, and I know what I was thinking about teenage and early 20s.
Yeah,
I wasn't nowhere near the person I was today, so I can almost guarantee that, because he talked about it, but he was just lived it. And you know what? And I always tell people, all our problems go back to finances. He
Mhm.
talked because he talked like a leader, but he
Mhm.
talked reckless too because that was what paid him. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to finances. Like
Mhm.
he became a game. Well, I ain't gonna say a gang member. He became affiliated because what? The people that came and rescued him when he had nothing and gave him millions of dollars were who? The gang members. It's the
Bro,
same thing in our communities. Like,
yeah.
why do they go to the streets? Because that's the person. It's not that we want to do this. I always say my story. I didn't want to do that, but the guy on the street corner said, "Hey, come here, youngster. You want to make some money?" I took that as love. When you coming from nothing and you ain't got too much,
Yeah.
and somebody want to show you how to make some money, is you just look at it as love. You might find out later that, oh man, you kind of got me in. You know what I'm saying? But at that moment, man, this dude care for me. This dude trying to figure out how, trying to help me eat today. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. What Tupac was doing, it was a mixed bag because he inspired us to be great, but he also inspired us to just like live in a way that our days will be numbered. You know,
Yeah.
that recklessness, you know what I'm saying? And I always tell people, all it was is just the energy. If somebody would have paid him positive to keep that same energy, but do it as free as freedom fighting your people, because he had that angle in him, but the gang stuff started oversaturating it because that's who paid him.
Change that focus.
Yeah, it changed the focus. Like, but if we'd have had somebody, a CEO youth league, dumping millions of dollars into him to talk this way, you know what I'm saying? So it always go back to finances, man, and that's where we got to get our community where we don't make decisions off just finances. Because I think if we were all financially okay, everybody ain't gonna be rich and all that. But if everybody's were more financial literate and financial okay, a lot of these decisions that we make wouldn't be the bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? I think it leads to that. So no, I get exactly what you're saying. But yeah, he failed us because I think because he was so influential, but he was so young. See, we needed him to make it to his like 35.
Yeah.
He would have been like 30, that same 35-year-old talking to us at a young age. I think he would have gave us a different message. But what they say, like babies having babies, like you know what I'm saying? Like he's a baby and he's guiding what a bunch of babies behind him, like we his army. You know what I'm saying? Like I literally got in fights over Tupac and Biggie, and I ain't never met damn one of them.
Damn one of them. Yep.
You know what I'm saying? But
I broke down with my guy.
I lived in Mellow Village. I ain't nowhere near the West Side. You know what I'm saying? So I get what you're saying.
Bro, I'm at Bronco Houston on Fort Hood when Tupac died. I broke down and cried. I walked off the court crying. Like,
yeah,
what?
I was dead crying. That was like because I tell people him, Master P would raise me because I was a runaway in the streets at that time. So a lot of the things that they said, and that I think that's what balanced me though, because I was listening to the Tupac, the rah-rah, but I was on Master P on the hustle, the mindset, the grind. So I had a mixed bag. I wasn't just all the way thugged out. Cause like I had partners that they wanted me to get in gangs and stuff. And I was like, man, I don't know. I was 12, 13 years old. I was like, man, it's really fake on both sides. All I want to get to is the money. I was saying that at a young age. So even though I was in the streets, I know I got cousins that blood, most of my partners' Crips. Like, I'm not gonna get in the middle of that. Like, I would, whoever trying to make some money, you know what I'm saying? So I always chose that, and I think Master P had a lot to do with that. Because if it was no Master P and just straight Tupac, I probably would have went straight to the games. You know what I'm saying?
Bruh, your son just hit me. You're genius. You're really genius. Like, I was just thinking what you just said, right? 50 is young.
Yeah. Mike's dude.
50 is young, bro.
Yeah.
What's up? Rap is 50 years old this year.
Yeah.
Think about how much influence, right? The reason why I'm saying you're genius, because the first thing I thought about was bridging the gap while you was talking.
Yeah.
You know, and just thinking about like if Tupac was 50 right now, then a lot of our mindsets would be different.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, it's also a blessing in disguise because now we're that Tupac and we get to see, hey, if we don't stay on course, like nigga, if you don't believe the streets lied to you, you will like this.
It's deep and it's a war, bro. That's why I attack it every day with so much aggression because it's a war, man. We had the war with the system. That's we only got to speak on that. That's for sure. That's just there, right? Then we had war with each other because we don't support each other. We don't rotate that money. We don't know how to build with each other. You know what I'm saying? We fall out over easy things. And then we had war with just economics. And we don't even understand it. We think we're struggling. We don't understand the people at the top has raised war on us to stay at the bottom. We just look at it like, oh man, it's designed for us to be like this. You know, like I was telling people a couple of weeks ago, like if we all rise to the same level, the rich get richer because it has to be a poor class. If it's no poor class, the rich can't keep getting richer. You know, they can still get some money, but they get their wealth off it being a poor class. It's something we don't understand. We don't understand that. We don't understand that dynamic, and we don't understand that it's set up for this. But then now we have been in it so long that they don't even have to fight us no more. We fight to stay at the bottom now. Like we literally fight to stay at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? And that's something that we gotta break. And that's what we're doing. Like we've known each other for a few years, and just how we started, how it went, and how it is now is a reflection of our community. You know what I'm saying? Like we start with a great idea. It takes a little bit of nothing to make us fall off and go and say forget each other for a minute, and then the growth of coming back saying what I did wrong, you did wrong, how we got to get better, and us both having an understanding that, man, we all learning this. We all new to this. There's no master splinter and none of this. We trying to figure it out, and we're better if we try to figure it out together. That's something me and you have learned on the job. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But most of us that look like this can't get to that point. I was talking to Regis the other day. You know how that went with me and him, and he started bringing up stuff, and he was like, hold on, man. You double back and made that and made sure you and Ben was good, and you didn't double back to holler at me. You know what I'm saying? And we had a conversation, and we said some things that we wanted to get off our chest. You know what I'm saying? Things I heard, things he said he heard, whatever. And it was and we had that conversation. You know what I'm saying? And I told him, like, no, I didn't come at it a certain way, because if I heard things and I'm unsure, especially when I'm considering the source, I always just fall back. I don't, because I don't never want to just run up on something and the information, you know, because you've been spoon fed some information. But that, like I say, that is a microcosm of what we've been going through this last couple of years, is how our community's been for decades, and why most of the time they can't work it out. Most of the time it leads to some dumb stuff where you never get to that. We don't know how to overcome ourselves. Just the title of overcoming ourselves. Me and you have overcame ourselves in our personal business of friendship. You know what I'm saying? We overcame, but most of us don't even overcome. Most of us will never speak to each other again. Most of us will know that each other's great on the other side, but man, forget him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know he got some genius, but man, forget him. I'm still mad about something that I don't even really know what I'm mad about, really. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I gotta pull up on Regis and Mike. And Jerry.
We talked about it. Your name came up, and and I told him where we stood, and everything. So I know exactly where you at and where you're talking about.
Yeah, but it's like, for me though, it's nothing against them personally.
Yeah.
Versus, I have a mission, and I'm gonna just use real estate because that kind of surround it. My mission is not necessarily real estate.
Yeah.
Now, I don't understand it. Like I told Regis before, bruh, you talking to me on something I don't understand and asking me to put something in that I don't really understand how it works, and we never just sat down. But then at the same time too, it's also like, I really want to make myself, I'm a servant. Like, at my best, the greatest version of Van is serving. I'm a servant. So how can I serve in a way that helps you without even taking away from me? You don't necessarily have to help me, but something in my wheelhouse, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I might not be able to speak on the real estate or whatever, but I might put a presentation together, or I might let's find out how we could do that part.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the biggest things I had back then. Like, not knowing how to serve in a way that was beneficial to all parties.
Yeah.
You know,
And the best way to serve in that instant is just do you. And that's the great thing about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, all we got to do is do us. We don't got to step out of there. Sometimes I think we overthink it. We think we need to do something. Or here in real estate, so I don't know nothing about real estate.
I'm good at that.
Yeah, you don't need overthinking. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You don't need to know nothing about real estate. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had a partner be like, "Well, man, I can't come up with no money for that." You don't need to worry about no money. You worry about the construction part once we do come up with the money, because that's where your forte. You know what I'm saying? And it's all about, because with real estate, even though you don't care about real estate, you do care about real estate. Why? Because we're talking about raising $7 million for what?
The bill.
For real estate. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So having a network of people that's in something, I'm into a little bit of everything, but I'm not a master of none of it, right? I got a little money in crypto. I'm into stocks. Because I understand about just spreading my money out. And I love to learn. Like, I love to learn this stuff, because why? All I thought about was businesses and having multiple ways of having cash flow until COVID hit. Then COVID showed me that, well, I never thought about the world stopping. I thought about the business might go down, or business have its good and bad seasons, but I never thought about the world stopping. So I'm a survivalist. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best way to, like, put myself in a category, because am I a great real estate person? No. That's why I keep myself around real estate people. But I own more real estate than some real estate people. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I know I'm not a real estate guy. Am I a crypto guy? No, but I own crypto. Am I a stocks guy? No, but I own stock. Am I a trader? I became into trading, not because I wanted to. I became into trading because when the world stopped and when those stores opened, that's the only way I seen people still make money. See, I'm a survivalist at the end of the day. I got chickens now, not because I want to be the best farmer in the world, because I need to be able to feed myself if there ain't nothing at the store. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it's not about us becoming a master and on all this stuff. It's becoming, okay, if I want to know about the curriculums, if I want to know about team, if I want to know about building, the different assets you bring, I need to make sure I'm tapped in with you every Monday. If I want to know about wholesaling, if I want to know stuff about real estate, I hit Mike up. I had a little real estate situation. Mike said, "Man, I'm gonna get you this contract. Sent it on over to me." That's the power of not being an expert at this stuff, but staying connected to good people that's they feel. You know what I'm saying? If I have a crypto problem, I call my crypto guy. I don't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm better at being myself. Am I a great real estate person? No. Am I a great motivational speaker? I don't think so. Am I a great author? I don't think so. I'm a great mind. I'm great at having a determined mindset, and I don't even know if that's a skill set or whatever. But that's what I'm great. I'm great at. No matter what I want to accomplish, what comes in my mind, I'm going to accomplish it. And I don't know how. I'm not the best finance person. I don't know about credit. I don't know about banks. I can't tell you how to go get no loan from the bank, because I don't know how to do none of that stuff. Yeah. But I know that once something go into my mind, I figure out how to get it, and that's my skill set. You know what I'm saying?
And that's, like, I think that's the common thing with us all. Like, we ain't gonna quit. We gonna figure it out. We gonna find a way to figure it out, but really the next for me is, like you said, like, I have to overcome my overthinking right now and just allow others to even pour in. One of the things I'm kind of afraid of right now, and this is something I got to overcome. Like, bruh, when somebody's pregnant, they tell you congratulations, right?
Yeah.
But they don't know how many times you got fucked. Like, I'm tired of being fucked.
That's a good one. I ain't never heard that one before.
And it's like trusting people. Trusting people is my biggest reason I'm getting fucked, and I just want to find the people that I don't need you to know. I don't need you to know everything. I just need you to be down to figure it out and understand, like, there's 11 hurdles in a hurdle race. We don't got to get the first hurdle right. Hell, we don't have to get the first race right. We just got to keep running. And we'll fuck around and be Olympians, but from my experience, it's always been get out the blocks, hit that first hurdle. we fall. It don't go how everybody. Boom. Now you have a 7-man team is down to 2 men. You know,
real fast,
real fast, and they're like, "Dang, we just hit one hurdle. We not even out the race. We just."
And that makes that makes a person that already feel a certain way, especially we've been programmed to feel a certain way about each other. Then when you go through real life and people leave you hanging, you like, well, I know that they say we shouldn't think like this, but now I'm going through something that makes me think like that. You know what I'm saying? And it's just so I get it, man. Like I was left hanging this weekend at the little cookout. I had to become the cook, the setup, like at the last second. I'm talking about literally like an hour before everything supposed to start kicking off. No one showed up. Oh, I got to do something. I got to do that. I'm like, you've been knowing this for a week. Just tell me. But I sent them a text. Thank you for what you have did, because this is me overcoming myself. Because I have to realize, man, this is my dream, right? Anybody that helps out, I appreciate it. But I can't be mad and blame people over something that they're helping, because this is my vision. So if everybody show up or if nobody show up, the mission still got to be complete. So me being mad if a person leave me hanging, no, why I wasn't more prepared. See, I go back in front of the mirror. I can be mad about showing up, but if you just show me that you got the tendency to not show up, if I'm still putting my all into you showing up, then the problem ain't you no more.
It's me.
I should have backups, because you had already shown me multiple times in the past that I might not show up or I might call in at the last second. You know what I'm saying? So appreciate everything you have did. Let me figure it out. I'm still sore right now, bro. I haven't even looked at the House of Resources since Saturday. I'm so beat up and tired. I went to the thrift store today. I'm like, I don't even want to see this. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But that's me overcoming my mindset. And you know what? When I keep the blame on me and just realize with this situation, try to keep it isolated situations, instead of saying, man, that person just showed me that they can't be dependable on. Not me saying, see, that's what I'm saying. We can't work with black folk. We can't work with family. We can't do that. No, I'm not going to paint that broad brush. I'm going to say this one individual has shown me that I shouldn't be putting my all into them. And if I'm still putting my all into them and they leave me hanging, I can only be mad at myself.
Yeah, I'm learning universal fortitude, I guess. The universe, like, if you ask the universe for something, it's the universe's job to give it to you. Yeah. However, if you ask the universe for a degree, the universe gonna say, hey, you might need to go to school first. Yeah. You know, so it's a process to everything. And I really so let me jump back to different. It's those breaks are definitely needed, but it gets to a hard point because, for example, I have a couple people that say, hey, let me know if you need something. Hit me if you need. But in my mind, I already know if I hit you, it's going to be no. Yeah. Right, not a good time, or you're going to drag me along until the last minute. And that's happened to me so much personally that I don't know how to ask for help at this point. Yeah. I don't, and like, I keep hearing you, we need to do something, we need to do something, we need to do something. And I'm like, man, I really don't know how to do anything anymore, because I feel like my expectations are so grand. And if I have to do it by myself, it's not going to meet that expectation, you know? So I just got to get back into it. But man, bro, just the weight of trying to get help, the weight of expecting people to come through on stuff they said, not you asked, on stuff they said.
I get it. And like I say, this is the overcoming ourselves, right? And this is something we got to still overcome. We can't let someone else, what we said before about don't let nobody write your story, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the way somebody has left us hanging, or like everything you just explained, we still allow them to write our story because that bad taste in our mouth from that leads us to make other decisions where we don't want to deal with nobody else. We might pass up that next person that's great. And I always tell people, I used to be like that. I'm the first person to tell you. But I'm more open to understanding that it just ain't gonna work out with everybody, but don't put that on everybody. Walmart hire and fire people every day. If we're gonna think big, we gotta understand that this is the game that's played. People gonna come and go. You know, of course, you want that core team. You want to build. You know, and that's why I told my mom, and like I told my mom, like, no more jobs. I'm gonna pay you to be my assistant, and we're gonna build this empire. Not that I can really afford to do that, but that's the mindset I got to start getting in my family. I gotta, and every day she don't even get on the payroll till next month. Every day she's been showing up. Today she's at the thrift store pricing stuff, and you know what I'm saying, because it's the mindset. Now she realized, okay, next month I'm gonna start being on the payroll, but this is my life. This is my job now. You know what I'm saying? That's me overcoming what? Not wanting to really trying to be cheap. Don't want to pay nobody. That's me. We have to challenge ourselves to do stuff, and it makes us uncomfortable. Like, it might make you uncomfortable to be like, what? Say, bro, I need some help here. That might make you the most uncomfortable ever. You know what I'm saying? And I hit a couple people today, and I was like, say, I got a business proposition for you. Out of the 4, I think 1 person responded. You know what I'm saying? But what I do is I pour value back into you. So if I come at you and I'm like, say, I need $1,000, I need $2,000, whatever, for this situation, I'll pay you 10% because I know if you got $1,000 sitting in the bank ain't gonna pay you no 10% in the next 30 days. You know what I'm saying? I can pay you 10% on this. You'll be getting a payment every other week or whatever until you pay it off. So the next month and a half, 2 months, you'll be paid off with your 10% you'd have made. You're not gonna make that in no bank. So even if they tell me no or leave me hanging, at least I feel like I gave you a business proposition, and everybody ain't gonna jump on it, you know. But if I just ask you, let me borrow $1,000, and you leave me hanging, now I'm looking at it more as a friendship. You know what I'm saying? That's the part I don't get down on that no more, because I don't ask nobody from a friend perspective no more.
Yeah.
I come to you, I give you the play, I tell you the percentages, I tell you how to pay back. It's on you, just like a bank. I can't get mad at a bank. I mean, I might feel a little upset, but it's business if a bank tell you yes or no. You know what I'm saying? So all my relationships like that, they dealing with that, I'm not gonna ask nobody for no help. I appreciate the donations. I appreciate the people that just see it and want to do it from the heart. I appreciate and love that. But if I do, I'm willing to ask people because I'm coming at you with a business proposition. If you don't want it, cool. I'm gonna keep it pushing. I'll find another way. You know what I'm saying? But that leads me from having it, because I used to feel just like you. Like, I don't want to ask nobody. Like, especially when we feel like, man, you see me. Like, if you see me drowning, I shouldn't have to tell you to help. Like, just jump in the water and grab me.
Yeah.
Our people ain't built like that. We're not from that type of mindset. We used to watching our people drown. You know what I'm saying? Like, you drowning, okay? Hey, man, hey, better you than me. That's our attitude. You know what I'm
saying? You say that, and that's a huge battle of mine.
Yeah.
So I get a lot of coaching style questions and stuff, and I battle with saying, hey, I got a coaching site. It's on the site you need to pay for the coaching. Yeah. It's cheap, whatever. Boom. But then also, like, for me, I know I just needed help and was looking, and if somebody had that just give me the information, boom. So I give the information, and a lot of times it's to no avail. So then it comes back again, like, to me, I'm an overthinker. Like, man, am I offering something? And I know I am, but I'm offering something that's not respected at this level right now, which is okay, because that just means I have to build. And if they come in now, they're definitely going to come once I build, but the price is going to be a little more higher.
Yeah, for sure.
So just overcoming our environment, overcoming our overthinking, that part, but also realizing that where we are in history, this is supposed to happen to us because this is us taking it further than the last generation.
Yeah.
You know, it's not built for us to do any of this. It's not built for us to even be determined the way we're determined. So now to actually pursue that determination, we're really the first kind of generation to be able to do that. So our journey in the relay of life, our leg could just be about us coming together versus actually achieving. So the next generation could say, "Oh, we know how to get together. We seen that before.
Yeah.
You know, we know how to get together and go after something. Whether we hit it or not is different. But as we grow and grow, we'll start hitting a lot more."
Yeah. No, that's definitely, see, I think we want to see the whole thing, and we got to realize that we're this is our part to get it and pass the baton. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always tell people, like, Ford never seen the riches that his great grandkids are seeing now.
Mm-hmm.
But he had the vision to start it. You see what I'm saying? And when it comes to our community, I didn't talk to older guys that you could tell. I mean, I had a preacher man tell me he ain't worried about building wealth because his kids are blowing anyway. Like, we don't even think like that. Another group of people, I'm talking about, it's groups of people that can't stand some of their kids and they still build wealth for them because they understand this is what I'm here for. It ain't about if I personally like what they're doing or what they became and all that stuff. Like, we'll put ourselves in the poorhouse to make sure that our offsprings don't get nothing. And it's the weirdest thing. Mm-hmm. But then you wonder why those offsprings think so selfish and like that. This came from a preacher. Like, those words came from a preacher, man.
Yeah, I believe you, because it's so, like, if you talk to any hardcore Christian,
yeah,
they are not doing anything to leave an inheritance for their children's children, and that's what the Bible say. So how you wiping that out?
Yeah, I tell people, I say I think some Christians are the most selfish people in the world because all they worried about is where they going when they die. Not what I'm leaving, not the situations, not how much wealth, not institutions. I'm not worried about nothing I leave, just where I go when I die. That's it. To me, that's selfish because that's the last thing I think about. Maybe that's just maybe I'm crazy, but I want to know, no matter where I go when I'm gone, what did I leave in 100 years? What am I remembered for here? Not where am I, if I'm partying up there or down, whatever this stuff that they didn't programmed us to believe happens after we go. You know what I'm saying? I told a guy one time, it was some years back, I said, what if we're dead now, when we die, we come alive? You know what I'm saying? We've been programmed so much, we don't even think like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if this is the dream, and then when we stop living in the flesh, then we really alive? Like, we don't know. So my whole point to say that is, what are you gonna leave? Like, when we watched the 300, all these movies, right? All they cared about is the legacy, what their name was gonna stand for in 1,000 years. We don't have that type of, we don't have that in our heart, in our community. The last thing we care about, I got a little money. I mean, I'm gonna blow it before I die. You know what I'm saying?
Kids got to get it on their own.
And that's sad. We had people that died just for their name to live on 1,000 years, for dying in war. They wasn't worried about the kids. They wasn't worried about this and that. They want their legacy. Their name was their legacy, because back then they didn't have all the stuff that we can build up now. Back then it was about your name. And so I'll die this way long as my name go for this long. You know, and we don't have that. And then we worry about the kids. Why do you think these kids out of control? Listen to some of these parents that they come from. You know what I'm saying? And what they got to overcome. You know, so I'm gonna have a sit down tomorrow with Miss Zoe from Zoe Rings, a nonprofit. We're gonna be at the 401 house. You know, she's running for a district, whatever, in Temple. And, you know, I guess they see how I be posting, talking about the NAACP and all this stuff. And I'm going to go in there with some questions. But the first thing I'm going to tell her, like, I'll fight and give people to vote for you. What are you going to offer us? And instead of me asking her for a plan that I know she ain't got, I'm going to go in there with a plan. And it's called opportunity. It's going to be called opportunity for us. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to have a jobs plan, but it's going to have an economic plan, and it's going to have a business plan. and how we can own these stores and how we can own property in our community. And that's the stuff I'm gonna put on the table and see what she react. And so that's what I'm saying. We got to overcoming ourselves gonna mean challenging our thought, right? And we finna wrap it up. We at the 55-minute mark, and this is something like me and Miss Brown last week. We had a little back and forth, and I love it though. You know, it's always respectful, but like I told her, we have to be deeper thinkers than what we are right now. We have to be more sophisticated with what we like. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to be able to say, yeah, I know.
There's a statistic out there, bro, that says 3% of people think, well, say 2% of people think, 3% of people think they think, and 95% of people will rather die before they think.
I know, bro, because I was like, it was kind of thrown to me because I can see when I was bringing up Trump name. I guess to us, if we say something about Trump in a good way, that means we're campaigning for him or something, some weird thing. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't be honest about a situation. You know what I'm saying? Like if a man don't like me, but he tell me to my face, but he do some policies that benefit my people indirectly, because he ain't doing it for us, but it benefits us anyway. That's a win for us. Not it ain't about, oh man, I don't like him, so forget him. Then the mind is so messed up that Joe Biden, this man has actually wrote bills that has harmed us. Actually talked about he don't want his kids mixed with segregations like these. But these are the guy y'all champion. So you want to tell me that this racist is more than this racist, but this racist has did some things that helped us recently, and this one has really hurt us. Hundreds of thousands of black men in jail from his policies, all that. But Trump a racist. I know he don't like me, but this man has wrote policies that hurt us. That's different. Like it's a lot of people that don't like me. I'm worried about the people that write policies that don't like me. You know what I'm saying? Like, like I don't get it, man. But and we went back and forth with that for a minute, and I still I think we're gonna do a part 2 because I was lost. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't care about no Democrat or Republican. But if I feel like I can win somewhere with a Republican, I'm gonna run with that. Not forget him. I'm talking about the one thing that he did benefits us. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I mean about we got to become overcoming the way we think, becoming. Well, I was taught like this from birth, so this is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I've been learning this. I had to do that. You know how many years I went scared to tell my mama that no, I'm challenging this religious system and all this because I done learned this in my history. I was scared. My mom used to tell me I'm gonna get struck by lightning if I even question. That was the programming, bro. I really thought I would get struck by lightning. You know what I'm saying?
When I found about I had to make a decision earlier, when I was talking about I had to make a decision.
Yeah.
One part of the thing that made me make a decision was I asked myself, what do I really know? Yeah. What did school teach me that I could really stand on? And there's nothing I've learned outside of, and I never thought I even do this, as many fucking grants as I write, PowerPoints and Microsoft Words and grammar. I struggle with that, so I got a Grammarly account, but I do more writing. This is the biggest part of school I've seen in my real life, outside of addition and subtraction. History is good because it kind of lets you know what to expect, but it's not our true history, so it's kind of like
yeah, you got to deeper. Right? Yeah, I don't go for the educational history. When I talk about history that I learned, it's coming from our scholars. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man.
So like you said, even for us to think deeper, it's some shit we got to really look out for that they put in our face and like, what y'all gonna do?
Yeah. And I get, and we gotta, and that's when it got to be togetherness. And I know we say that, and I like once again last week we had a thing about should we be in cliques or not. And I was at first I was like, okay, the clicking up and only supporting the people that's in your circle, that's kind of weird because we need to push each other. But at the same time, I don't want to be a part of everybody clique. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? Like I have to realize that I want to do stuff for my people as a whole, but that don't mean I want to partner up and do business with all my people. Like
Yeah.
I want everybody to succeed, but it's only a certain amount of people I want to be around because if you open yourself up to everybody, the Black Panthers have showed us, you'll get infiltrated and destroyed.
We have to be like good baby mamas and good baby daddies with each other.
Yeah.
Like baby mamas and baby daddies that don't like each other. That's how we have to be cordial for our child.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like you. I know you my baby mama, but I do not like you. And I can't even expect you to say anything good about me.
Yeah. And like I say, you said you put it in child. You focus on the mission. And that's why I always lead people to get the emotional out of it, how you feel, how I feel, what's best for the mission. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And everybody, and then when you find out the people, because people show you quick. Most people ain't worried about the mission. And then the people you just slide, you don't waste no time. You don't go back and forth. When you realize that they're not about the mission, you just play past it and keep going. Don't waste no time arguing. Don't waste no energy going back and forth. Don't waste no energy trying to convince. No, that's when you're gonna get infiltrated and somebody gonna hit you in the back because you're over there trying to talk sense to somebody that just ain't got that type of sense, or maybe they just ain't got there yet. It took me 30 years before I really started. Like I always thought about business and stuff like this, but the way I am now, it took me 30 years to get to that point. Maybe they gonna take them another 2 or 3, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to pull you and bring you along. It's plenty of information. Go do your research, figure it out, and when you're ready, don't tell me you're ready. I know because of the way you move. I'm a big energy person. Like one thing I thought about, you was like, well, certain people want to be down with the movement. You know what I'm saying? Certain people I have reached out to, and I'm like, that's cool. But then I thought about it. Now I haven't even talked to you about it, so I ain't gonna talk about it in depth. But I thought about it when you presented that, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do business with people if this ain't their life. I don't want nobody that just see what I'm doing, see what you're doing, and just want to pop in. I should be able to turn around and see that you in this world some kind of way too. If I can't turn around and see that you in this world on your own, I don't, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool. Now I might hire you to do some carpentry work because I see that's your world. I might hire you for some electric work. Why? Because I see that's your world. Like I hire you for certain stuff, but as far as being on this team, I need to know that some kind of way you in the community, you in these youth phase. I'm talking about when ain't nobody paying you, when nobody see it. I need to see that side. Mm-hmm. If I don't see that side, I don't want you on the board. I don't want you part of what I'm doing. And that's just something I had thought about, and we'll talk about that out here. You know what I'm saying? But we over the hour, man. We're gonna wrap it up, man. Gonna give us something to wrap it up with for the day, man.
All right, y'all. Fear, FEAR, false evidence appearing real, right? So whatever your fear is, false evidence appearing real, that's going to help us overcome ourselves. So for me, the 21st, I'm going to get a colonoscopy. Fear, I'm breaking it, overcoming myself, but also realizing what you're doing. So as scared as I am for this procedure, I'm making sure I'm okay for my kids. I'm making sure I'm okay to complete my mission because my mission helps the community, right? It turns back to my why. So when it comes to overcoming yourself, let's get rid of fear. Let's stop overthinking. Let's lean on each other. I'm talking to me right now. So you can leave your ears open, but let's lean on each other. You know, don't be afraid to, hey, Van, how I do this? Let's lean on each other. If I don't understand, I'm going to openly tell you I don't understand. And we might need to sit down and talk about it. But let's work on overcoming ourselves, overcoming these small hurdles with simple things as talking to each other and just remembering fear is false evidence appearing real, so there's nothing you should fear. And let's move forward.
And to end on what you're saying, we have to challenge yourself to be better, right? Me being better was not really a challenge, but if I'd have overthought our situation, right, and be like, well, if I reach out to him, what if he say this? What if he say that? What if he, and I know I heard people say this, well, if I reach out to that person and they turn me down, then they're going to be going to tell people, oh, he tried to reach out to me, this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? I always tell people, when you lead with just pure, you know what I'm saying? You lead with being pure. from your intentions standpoint. So I wasn't worried about none of that, and because why? I was coming from like, you know what? I see what this man doing. We linked up for, and that's one thing about me. If I link up with somebody, I don't just link up with any and everybody. So when I link up with people, it's for a real reason. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't come in, I don't be trying to come in and try to get nothing from nobody. It's always a pure motive on what we can do to build. So when I run across anybody in that world, even if it don't go right, I still remember the first reason why I reached out to that person or why I met that person. And that keeps me balanced with just being like, oh no, I'm gonna see if I can make this right. You know what I'm saying? I know this and that, but man, you learning, he learning. Hey, you can't do nothing but say, nah, I'm good, bro. You know what I'm saying? And when I hit you, you was kind of feeling the same way. Like, damn, bro, we should have been and made this right. You know what I'm saying? So if I'd have been fear, that'd have kept us from where we at now and what we building on now. And that betters our community from what we doing now. You know what I'm saying? For me not being, me getting over the fear, overcoming myself, overcoming that narrow street mentality that, man, forget him, or I'm this person, he got to come to me first, or you know what I'm saying, that type of stuff. And just be I don't really like the word humor, you know what I'm saying, because you know it's, but just being I like to say just be genuine what the motive was. My motive was I could build with this man. This man is brilliant. Let me read back out to him and say this is an ideal of mine. You know what I'm saying? Long as it's like that, even if you'd have said no, I wouldn't have been worried about nothing. Why? Because I was pure the way I was coming. It wasn't no hidden agenda. I was really trying to fool you, or you know what I'm saying? And I feel like as long as we do that, we can live with the results. Like they always say, the basketball game, give it your all and live with the results. Yeah. That's what I do with this stuff, man. I give it my all and I live with the results. You know, and I know it's gonna be good, bad, and indifferent, but I live with the results because I know I'm coming from pure intentions. Mm-hmm. So we're going to end on that, man. You know what I'm saying? We're going to end on that, man. But I salute you, and I love that your spirit, you know what I'm saying? I talk to you off camera, so I done seen you when your spirits wasn't as high, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I salute you on that, bro, because I tell people all day, man, the way I eat, the way I do things, I haven't ate fast food in so many years. I haven't drunk sodas. I think like this because I know that the stuff that they're giving us every day is poisoning us. Mm-hmm. It's only a matter of time before you know what I'm saying? And we have to realize that. We have to be like, oh, how do I make myself better? I talk that way in business, relationships, business partnerships, family, son, brother, you know what I'm saying? And I talk about that in health because I want to be better all the way around.
Yeah.
So that's what I was saying.
We should dive into health next show. One of the things I'm gonna leave this as a pop-off. So if I forget, one of the things I battled with malnutrition. Yeah. So when I was in junior college, like running track, I battled with malnutrition. And what is malnutrition? When you're burning way more calories than you take in. Yeah. I'm running track. I'm working overnight. I'm in the streets doing all that. I wasn't making time to eat. So looking at it from that point. But with that being said, another Wealth is Gangster.
Another Wealth is Gangster Mindset Mondays, man. This was a great one. And we will talk about health next week because it all goes back to wealth. Your health is your wealth, but our lack of wealth has us not caring about our health. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to tangle that next week, man. So that was another episode. Thanks to everybody that tapped in. I see my boy Bam over there in Africa, so I knew he wasn't going to be able to tap in today. He over there with the family. They over there wrapped up and everything in Africa, man. So salute you and the fam, Bam. You know what I'm saying? And have a great trip, man. But I'll be talking to you, man. Thanks for everybody tapping in, Mike, and everybody that's going to tap in after this show, man. I'll holler at you later, my G.
All right, peace.
Peace.